good morning or good night as it may be. Whatever the case, we have this image that was posted to the LEGO Leaks Reddit, and it is the new Snow White Cottage set. Let's take a look at this. The biggest thing that my eyes went to, and I think most people looked at when they saw this, was the dwarfs and their new beards. We get two different beards in this, both of which are new, and as far as I can tell, they're pretty good. They're both weird neck beards. They don't really go up over the mouth at all, which seems appropriate in this case, and is probably the reason that they're new beards and not just being reused Gandalf beards or the other short beards that we have. But I don't think they look super great. My personal opinion is they're just a little bit weird. The neckbeard style is kind of questionable. We also get two new hats. Well, I don't know if they're new, but there's two different hats, and of course they come in different colors. I think Dopey the dwarf is the guy that has ears, but none of the other dwarves have special ears. It's just Dopey, which seems like a bit of a weird move. I don't know if canonically the dwarves had pointy ears or if it was just Dopey that had these accentuated ears in the movie. Also for the dwarves, it looks like they're all the same torso print, with the exception of maybe that dude in the middle there. He might have a different jacket on, but they're all the same print, they're just on different colors, which is fine. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. We also get, of course, Snow White. I think she's the same as has been in a number of other sets. We get a prince. He's all right, I guess. There's nothing super special going on, but he seems like a pretty high quality fig for what he is, so we'll take it. And then there is the evil witch included. We can just see a tiny sliver of her. Overall, there's nothing that super excites me about this. It's pretty obviously just an evil looking face, the new Star Wars hood that they've been using, and then some hair print on her black robes. I'm not super excited about this fig because I don't think it's going to bring anything that would change minifig design at all. It's just pieces that we've already got, largely. There's also a number of animals. That's nice. I would have liked to see a bit more, just given that I think in the movie, Snow White is like literally surrounded by a bunch of birds and rabbits and squirrels and all that, and I can really only see one of each of those animals. Maybe two of each would have been more appropriate, but I'm not going to beef over the animals. That's whatever it is. Moving on to the house seems really great. The biggest standout is probably the roof. The roof is super detailed. It has this amazing thatched pattern that's probably going to be a pain to build and a pain to recreate. I can't imagine this was easy at all to design. It looks really, really good. My only concern is that on the front, the way they've done those front panels makes it kind of look like mini surfboards that they've attached on the front there. I know that's not what the pieces are, but it just doesn't look the most polished on the front, but maybe that's what the look they were going for. Maybe that's the most accurate. The wood paneling and the wood plating on the side is all looking very nice, and overall I think that's just very well captures the style of building that they're going for. We also get a bit of rock work down by the base of the chimney. That's always nice to see, just creative rock work being put in there, and it's better than just a straight up chimney that would have required zero brainstorming ability in order to design. The other thing that is also pretty eye-catching is the trees. And I think this is going to be where the set receives the most criticism. We see two of these trees on either side that really try to blend two different styles of tree. One using the grass piece and the other using the fern piece that was introduced in Rivendell. Now, both of these pieces I think can make fine trees together. I've designed some trees myself with them and they're great, but combining them in this way, massive mistake in my opinion. It just looks so strange. These clearly are not the way that trees form. Like, the closest thing I can think of to describe my feelings towards these trees is my feelings when Donald Trump chose Mike Pence to be his vice president. Like, this firebrand, break the system politician, totally unorthodox, chose Mike Pence, who's like the most boring Republican imaginable, to be his VP, and that's basically what you've got here with the trees. It's a weird decision. They really don't go well together. I don't know why they're doing it. The big birch tree is kind of nice though. It has that kelp piece, but in white. I'm not super excited about that. It looks a little weird in terms of branches because it just starts to pop out into like 5 branches all of a sudden, whereas the tree didn't really have that many branches beforehand. But it's a nice way to attach the leaves. I'll give them that. It's cool. It's a nice option to have, I guess. Then we get some of those new leafy pieces over the doorway. Kind of indifferent on those. It's nice that they're here, I guess, more parts. We also got this image. It's a lot more blurry, but we can see now that there's a bit more stuff going on here. It looks like Snow White gets a little glass casket as well as a well, and that's great. Nice stuff to round out the set. Notably, this is being run under some Disney sub-theme, I think. Maybe a Snow White sub-theme. Maybe it's an icon set. I can't really tell, but it's definitely not an ideas set, and we'll get to that in a sec here. Because I think the big question on everyone's minds is, how does this live up to the expectations? The expectations was this LEGO Ideas set that was actually not approved to be made into a set, and then they turned around and made it anyways. Now, I don't know if they're giving credit to the creator. I really hope they are, because this idea is very, very clearly lifted directly from this Ideas submission. And I know that technically LEGO doesn't need to give compensation, like in their legal thing, but they should, obviously. He contributed almost all of the serious planning work that went into this set. And the Ideas set does some things better. It does the roof tapering a little bit better, whereas you can see on this model, they just kind of use plates to make the roof curve around the top beam. On the original Ideas set, they actually make the siding also curve. That said, the rest of the roof is kind of inferior on the Ideas model, so that sort of makes sense. The Ideas model also has a closed-off back. The way that you get in is all of the roofs pop off and some of the walls swing open. That's a very cool design, and I hope they've carried that over in the actual LEGO model. Now, as a castle fan, I think this set could fit in really well with pretty much any medieval fantasy mock, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go out and buy it, just because the price is kind of challenging. This is $220, and I just don't see this being worth it. The medieval blacksmith is almost certainly a better investment. That said, it's a fairly nice parts pack if you want to build houses with that roofing style, and if you just want the trees and the beards. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is definitely cool, and we should be getting the medieval town square coming later this week even. It's a busy time for LEGO news, so stay tuned.